Well, hello there. How is everyone out there? Looks like we got about 3 people watching right now. Hopefully you can hear me, because usually that's an issue. Most people can't hear me, so I wanted to make sure I can. Good to see Jolyn out there from Low Country, South Carolina, and then Mark over at Huntington Beach. Probably the complete opposites of the world. Not the world, but of the U.S. So too cool to see you guys. Excellent. Yes, we can hear the sound. Good. All right. So anyway, today is this is a trick that one of our product experts of Google Photos, but also a good friend of ours who's a community member inside here, has given this as a tip many times over and talked about this. But one of the coolest things, I think this is awesome, because most people have some form of a Google account or a Gmail or something like that. So you already have access to this. And I'm talking about Google Photos, and, everybody thinks, oh, well, it's just photos. It is, but it's really interesting because there's a whole chat section that you can communicate back and forth. And I don't know that anybody knows about this. And that's kind of why I titled this the way I did today, because it's actually really super cool and easy to do. I feel like it's easy, but I'd be real curious. And it's all about going to the collections, and this works on iPhone or your Android phone, and it's super simple. So I'm going to share that with you today as the tip without sitting here rambling on. Let me go over to do that. So let me slide on over. So I'm over here at my telephone. This is my cell phone. I'm going to go to Google Photos, which is the app right here. When I click on that app, so now I'm in my Google Photos, and at the bottom, you can see there's 3 menus. Now this might change, because this changes like every other month. And yours might not even say what mine says. Like right now, this says search, and on some people's, it says ask. Like on my iPhone, I have both devices. It says ask. So you never know what you're going to have. So I'm going to go into the collections part. I'm in the collection parts, and I'm just going to go to an album. And one thing, let's just say like my trip that I went to Cincinnati, I shared this with a bunch of probably people that are watching right now. And you're thinking, well, why a photo album? Here it is, Cincinnati trip baseball. Why use Google Photos versus just having a group or whatever? Well, one thing is by having it in a group on your phone, you can always download that photo so you can have that photo. So if you're a member of this album or invite people to this album, you can make it a public album. You can do anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why. Some people create a Facebook group, but then you got to transfer all of the pictures up there. And then the other thing that's nice about this, if all of us are in this album or group, I can share this with all the people that are in this group as well. So if we're all taking pictures, it automatically comes into this group, which is kind of super cool. Lots of reasons why, and I wanted to share with you how to do that. So for example, how do I get to that section? Like this just shows me the photos that we all took when we were there. Up at the top here, you can kind of see it's like a square chat box up at the top. If I click on that, Now you can see we've had conversations back and forth. So cool. This is when I met Diane, and it breaks it down into sections that you time. And then when I was showing food that we were eating while in Cincinnati, yep. Then, immediately Jolin, who's in the audience right now, says bacon. I beg your pardon, excuse me. But I mean, so it's a conversation that you can have about the photos that you're taking and doing that. But it doesn't have to be with just a trip. You can make an album, a whole set of things where you can just sit there and go back and forth about different things. Just like she asked this question, is that Grater's ice cream, black raspberry, chocolate chunks? We've gone to Cincinnati just for that. See, so it's conversation that you're having with people and conversing, but you can make it whatever you want. If you have one with a bunch of friends, or if it's just family and you wanted to just share photos and say, oh my God, this is a great picture, this kind of thing, or a video. Here's a video of when we took our trip or cruise or whatever we went to and all this kind of stuff. So it's really an excellent and cool way to have the conversation and the photos. It's not just sending photos. You're like, oh yeah, I remember this trip, and we're just looking at that. You can actually put in there too, hey, on this picture, this was such and such, and here's where we did this, and we met so and so, and we did, this kind of thing. Super great for families, I think. So I wanted to share that as a possibility, because I know there's a lot of people out there. A lot of you use Facebook, you use all these different kinds, you have these different apps, or you might use whatever it is, Slack or whatever. You just have that's the way you do your conversations, or Google Chat or different things. This is kind of a cool way of doing it where you include pictures, and you can make it all just conversation. It doesn't have to be pictures in there, but you can just comment back and forth. And I wanted to share this as a possibility for some of you you can do it for work. I mean, you could have a whole chat album that you're sharing stuff with pictures. Hey, here we were on this job site and we did this, or we were over here and this is what the customer said. Da da da. You can use it for just about anything. There you go. It says this is such an excellent feature. I remember that trip. Yeah, you do, don't you? So I wanted to share that with you today and give you this as an option more than anything else. And the thing that I absolutely love about it is that you can use it on anything, either one. You can use it on iPhone or Android. And I know most apps do that now and all that kind of stuff. In order to add a comment, though, you do have to have an account. So a Google account is all you need. So even if you have a YouTube account or whatever you have and all that kind of stuff. So it's really kind of cool. So yeah. And Jolin says, Linda, excuse me, lives in Hawaii, where Chris and Jim Gould were, and was photos of them and shared album. Yeah, it's wonderful. It is. It's really good. I'm just saying, even if it's more of not necessarily an intimate or just about sharing pictures of your great trip or whatever, you can make it an ongoing thing. So have a family album where you're just creating this album. And then when the unfortunate thing happens, when someone is no longer with us, you have a built-in, already made thing for that album. Or like I said, if it's for work, you have reference and pictures and times and dates on those photos that can be used as a tool saying, hey, here's what we had, here's what we got, etc. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the tip here today, but I thought this would be a good one just because I love the idea of this kind of stuff, and I think it's super cool. If you guys have if you're watching this later and you have any comments, be sure to put those in there. It'd be excellent to hear what you have to say. Let's see what Mark says. He says, some clients of mine communicate with me mostly on Google Photos. There you go. That's just have an album set up with just them, or the Google Photos website. Yeah, exactly. So if you're on the web, it doesn't have to be on your phone. That is true. You can go to as long as you have a G account. I don't want to set everybody's devices off, but anyway. All right, I'm going to take us into the Backstage Pass. Those that are members, you can see right down here, if you're in YouTube, it has a join button. Come join at the middle level or higher. That's $9.99 or up. Any of those levels, and you can come into the Backstage Pass whenever we have guests on or right after these shows. So, and I do a tip every day. So if you're interested, please join. Even for a month, just try it out. All right, I'm going to take us on out. Thank you, everybody that watched, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks, everybody. And where are we? Oh, I know why. Doesn't want to work. That's why we tinker. There we go. All right. Still not. Still doesn't want to do it. I don't know why.